Salutations and welcome to the Mana Bar Video Game Podcast. I am your host, Andy Rhodes, and I'm here with Matt Samarco.
Hey, Andy, it's Matt.
And Dan Party.
Hey.
How's everybody doing?
Doing fantastic.
Good. You
games.
guys excited for the big announcement that happened today?
Which big announcement?
Rick and Morty Season 4.
Oh, sorry. I did
Announced
see
for
that.
November.
I did
Nope.
see that.
You not excited for that?
I guess I'm happy it is going to happen, but
That sounds like excitement to me. That's as close to excitement as I'm going to get out of you. Anyways, great show today. We're going to talk about...
Great show
I
every
wouldn't
day.
say that already.
Great show every week.
Let's not set the bar too high. We just started.
All right, mediocre show.
All right, there.
today.
I can do that. I can
Above average.
I can deliver
at
that.
best.
We're going to review it at the end. See if it was a good show.
So we're going to talk about the Sony State of Play that happened last week. A little bit about legislation on loot boxes happening in Missouri. The WoW Classic Edition got a release date. And we're going to talk a little bit about review scores. But first, and
Sweet.
before I listen to either one of you talk about how much Bejeweled 2 you played over the weekend.
Oh, I love that Bejeweled. 3 in a row.
Candy Crush for me, man. No. I'm kidding.
God, I
I'm
hope
kidding.
you guys are
I'm
kidding.
kidding.
Oh my God. I got very... we have a special guest.
We do
with
not
us
have
today.
a special guest.
Yes, we do.
I think I see something on your phone, maybe.
We have a special guest every week.
Okay.
His name's
fair enough.
Pikachu.
Oh, yes.
He
Hi,
is
Pikachu.
the official, unofficial fourth member of our podcast. He's here every week.
A weekly reminder to Andy that we do not have a video component on this podcast.
I'm aware. That's why I'm announcing it to the audience that he's here. And I also posted a picture of him recently, so they know.
proof.
The world knows that picture I posted. I actually got more views than anything else. Had like
Sounds about right.
It reached 174 people.
He can't even hold himself up. He needs a pen to hold himself
But
up.
anyways, Pikachu. Hello to you too.
Jesus Christ.
So, Pikachu, I heard you had a new movie come out recently. And it was the highest grossing ever opening weekend for a video game movie. Isn't that something? Pikachu, how was it working with Ryan Reynolds?
Pika, Pikachu, Pika, 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 Pika.
Andy did not discuss this segment with me or Dan before the making of this
I
podcast.
mean, reviewing.
Okay, I'm gonna just...
Can you translate that, Andy, please?
Pikachu, one last question for you. How does it feel on the opening weekend of your big movie to still have Avengers Endgame in its third weekend beat you at the box office? Oh, that was very angry. All right. Well, you go chill there. Watch the rest of the podcast. We're going to talk about the games we've been playing lately. Hopefully something else other than Days Gone. I only say that because I had to listen to it 2 weeks in a row, and I'm kind
Maybe
of
you
over
should
it.
play it.
I might.
What'd you think of Detective Pikachu? You saw it.
I saw it twice.
Twice.
Yeah, I saw it once with my friends. and
Double the
then
amount I recommend.
once with my girlfriend because I couldn't leave her out of the conversation. And first time I saw it, I was a little underwhelmed. And then the second time I saw it, it was fine. It was a
it's
decent movie.
It's a good movie.
Suffered from
Can spend
pretty
2 hours
bad CG, I feel.
Really?
I thought it was alright.
A few times where I'm like, oh, I could have written a better line than that.
Oh yeah.
There was, all right, so the Kid and Pikachu, spoiler alert, Dan, the Kid and Pikachu were running away from some APOM, and this isn't a huge spoiler for the movie. And, like, I don't know why this stood out to me, but they were going down the garbage chute, and he's like, oh, I'm not going down there. And Pikachu's like, all right, well, have fun with the crazy freaking Pokemon. And I'm like, oh, that was like a perfect chance to say, like, have fun with Planet of the APOMs or something like that. Like a well-written line or something that was kind of funny. But
just want
that's
Andy
a
puns
very
in there.
minor detail in the movie. The movie as a whole, I thought was very charming, very funny. Psyduck stole the show for me.
Oh, I love Psyduck.
He was
He's
great.
like my favorite Pokemon.
A lot
I was very
of-
glad that he was majorly in it.
Yeah, a lot of twisting of the plots going around. But yeah, it was really fun. And I guess I'll start off since you two normally start off with the games you're playing right now. My experience this past week was less about playing, more about suffrage. So I haven't really talked about this on the podcast yet, but I am on a quest of sorts to play through and beat every single Zelda game that matters. So no,
And what were you doing this week?
I was attempting to play possibly the worst one I have yet to play.
It will be worse.
So I've also played Phantom Hourglass. I know that's bad, but no. There's a difference between being hard and only being hard because your gameplay is broken. And Skyward Sword checks that box for me in spades. The story and the world and the music and the characters are all beautiful. Like, I really enjoy the story and the dungeons and the puzzles. But man, the motion controls and the gameplay and there's so many issues with that. And it's just, it takes away from it. It's overshadowing the goodness in the game. And that sucks. And I am actually going to be going a bit deeper into a review of the game because I am going to be doing kind of a special series on Zelda as I go through the game, separate from this podcast, where I talk about each game in depth and what I thought about the game and kind of where it stands on my favorites list. And, well, this one's nowhere near the top. Let's put it that way. Other than that, just been, little Apex here and there. Nothing much else going on in my video game life. What about you, Dan?
So yes, I am still playing Days Gone.
Nice. 20 minutes. Days Gone. Go.
20 minutes? No, it won't take me that long. No, it is good. I did not finish it and fully 100% it like this wonderful gentleman to my right. But I did get a little sidetracked because ID Software's Rage 2 came out. So unfortunately, I didn't get to play it for too long. But from the hour and a half to 2 hours I played it, it legit feels like a Borderlands 3 with realistic graphics and some crazy amount of customization for your guns.
Cool.
And it's very, very, very colorful.
It's been getting what I describe as mixed
reviews. Yeah. I mean, like I said, I have only played it for about 2 hours, but it legit is Doom in an open world. It has.
That sounds amazing.
It is crazy the amount of ability. I've only, like I said, 2 hours. I have like a little dash ability. It feels intense. I went into some tunnel. That's my water. I went into a tunnel and there's things like coming at your face. But very happily, they give you a shotgun, and it feels very much like Doom.
So the color palette kind of reminds me of Far Cry New Dawn.
Yes.
Like, is that similar to that? Because like I see all the bright colors, and I'm like, wow, is that going to be one of those like bright, like everything's like counter to what you would think a post-apocalyptic world would be?
Kind of like Borderlands too.
Yeah.
It legit feels like Mad Max meets Doom.
I like that
it's
kind of
awesome,
reversal.
and like everything is pink and magenta and cyan.
I can't wait to play it.
Cyan.
It's like the car or the color?
The color.
Yeah, cyan.
And not like my fake gamer.
Cyan.
I think it's cyan, but it's all those like
colors. I don't know.
those crazy like bright colors with people with like mohawks and stuff like that, and they're all yelling crazy stuff at you. And
So it's Mad Max meets Borderlands meets
Doom.
It's
awesome.
New Dawn
meets Rage.
Even if the story isn't great, from some of the negative reviews, I think the typical reviews have saying that it does have like a grind feeling to it. Which I don't mind as long as the game is fun.
Yeah, I don't really mind that. I like those open world like checklist games. So,
and if it's not like
in the right spot,
and if it's not like Assassin's Creed Odyssey where it's just go get this or fetch quests. If it's just blow everything away, it's like all right. Or again, driving the vehicle around was a lot of fun. I drove by someone and it's like, do you want to race? And I'm like, not at the moment because I don't know the controls. But it just looks like there's a ton of stuff to do, and I hit like max speed for like a good 2 minutes. And I was like, oh wow! And
what's the map size comparable to?
That's what I was actually getting to. Like I hit like max speed for like a good 2 minutes, and I didn't even cover like 1/5 of the map. Like not even. So and that's in a vehicle, never mind on foot. So, and it looks like there's lots of little nougats and that you can find, and
Nuggets.
I don't know.
Nobody says nougats.
Nobody says hotcakes.
What are you playing?
All
Matt?
right.
McDonald's still labels them as hotcakes. I just want to point that out right now. Not that they should be the bar that we all attain to be. Go on, Matt.
So I'm still like struggling through Apex, trying to get this battle pass done. I'm still like slightly on schedule, so we'll see how that goes. But I spent most of my week actually playing Yoshi's Crafted World for the Nintendo Switch, which is actually like a fun little cute game. It's like been a nice palate cleanser in between like Days Gone and Rage 2, which are both, I assume with Rage 2, are like big open world, long, meaty games.
And you decided to get that on GameFly. You went back to that, right?
Yeah, GameFly. I did this like the same time last year, where like there was all these games that I kind of wanted to try, but I just couldn't buy just because of like money, and because I'm like, this is not worth $50 to me. But with GameFly, I'm just trying out a bunch of games that I'm like, this is a passable game, but I want to try it anyway. So I'm starting with Yoshi's Crafted World, and it's been a lot of fun. like I said, it's a nice palette cleanser. It's obviously geared towards kids. It's really bright and colorful.
It looked like one of those games that I would love to try but don't want to buy.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I use gameplay.
I don't know if I could put $60. Is
Exactly.
it 60?
I think it's 60.
Yeah, that was
I wouldn't
it's
say
a
worth
Nintendo
60.
first-party
I mean,
game.
unless you have like a kid
You're right.
or something.
That's a silly
I've been
question.
mostly playing it docked, which is kind of the perfect way to play it when you're just like relaxing at night, watching a TV show, and you're just like playing it docked and like knocking out these levels. Like,
Wait. When you're watching a TV show while playing it docked, so you mean in handheld mode?
yes, in handheld mode.
Undocked.
That's what I meant. Undocked. Whatever.
The opposite.
The opposite of what I said, if that's what I said. But yeah, it's fairly easy, but there's like, so in every level, there's 8 little flowers that you have to get. You don't have to get all of them, but you'll need to get some of them to unlock the next world. And so those are kind of like your extra challenge if you're looking for something a little more difficult. But I usually end up getting like maybe 5 or 6 of them, and I haven't had any point where I haven't been able to progress any further. So I think it's more of like a completionist thing if you need more stuff to do at the end of the game, but I'm probably not going to go back and do those. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. It's a decent little kids fun.
The look of it reminded me a lot of Kirby's Epic Yarn.
Yeah, it's
which
like no pressure.
was
It's
a
nice.
complete waste of time
I didn't play that one so I
because you
can't
couldn't
say.
die.
This one you
There
could
was
die.
no
I've died-
dying in that game. There was literally no challenge at all. It was literally made for 5-year-olds.
Yeah, I didn't
That was
die.
like Prince of Persia. You
I didn't die in the
technically
first
die.
few worlds, but I've died I think twice now because there's some like cliffs that you can fall off of, and then you have like it's usually like 3 or so hits
Yeah.
and you die.
But it looked like a fun little cute
Yeah.
game to play.
Yeah, so see, it's exactly what you would expect from a Yoshi's Crafted World.
Oh. Moving on, the PlayStation State of Play happened on May 9th. It was about 10 to 15 minutes long. Didn't have too much going on in it.
Yeah, nothing at all. Right, Andy?
Just like
Yeah,
a few
nothing.
games. So not in order of appearance, but in order of how I decided to write them down on this list. There was Predator Hunting Grounds, Monster Hunter World, Iceborne, which it might be just DLC.
Add-on.
Might be it's
It's
just
an
an
add-on,
add-on.
yeah.
Okay.
So with Predator, why do they keep doing these asymmetric games? Because I don't understand who likes these or like remember.
Actually,
do you remember Evolve? They tried to make Evolve this big, huge game, and then no one played it.
Well, I think
I remember the fact that nobody played it.
I think the big reason was because of the microtransaction like stuff. It was absolutely
have
that was one of the
microtransactions?
big games that
I didn't even know it had
was
them.
$60, and then they charged you for like an extra character right away. They locked him behind a paywall. There was no way to get him unless you actually like physically paid money. So
I saw the trailer for Predator Hunting Grounds, and my literal reaction was, oh, that's some shooter. Moving on.
Those are so hard to like balance because usually the 4 team has like a much better chance of winning if like you're all very good, and it's I don't know how they're gonna do it. I mean, there's some good games like Dead by Daylight and some that people seem to like, but I don't know.
I feel like almost like a battle royale with one, except doing the opposite, where one person is the predator and you're trying, like everyone is trying to kill him. Because I mean, the predator is supposed to be overpowered. So I mean, obviously, you don't want everyone to just die really quickly. But I mean, maybe there's a way to bring people back or whatever.
So I'm just going to finish this list,
Okay, you do that.
and then we can talk
I wanted to
about
get
it.
angry about
I know.
asymmetrical games that I don't enjoy.
It's fine. It's fine. Dan's going to get angry at something we're going to talk about later, too, that he's...
I have no idea what you're talking about. At all.
So the rest of the games were Medieval Remake, which is a game I never played but was aware of. Away Survival Series. It looks like a little kind of, you're a raccoon and you're playing like a little survival game. Actually looked pretty neat. There was some sort of they're doing this Days of Play thing in June instead of doing an E3 presentation, and they had this like special PlayStation for it that just looks like a slightly less black looking
More
PlayStation
chrome
with like the symbols on the side, and
That seemed kind of
I mean, that was about it. And then the State of Play ended, and, you know, there wasn't really much else to go on. It was just like a few games that played, and... Oh, shit. No, sorry, I'm getting a phone call.
Who gave Andy
Hello?
a soundboard?
Hi. Oh, it's Cloud. Hi, Cloud. How's it going?
Is he depressed in this one?
Good. What's that? No way. Oh, guys, did you know that there was new footage for Final Fantasy VII?
No.
Cloud, I gotta call you back. I gotta talk about it. I'm on the podcast now. No, I'll call you.
If you're experiencing mental health issues, you can call for help. We can.
Final Fantasy VII got new footage, and I legitimately screamed when the footage happened.
I can confirm he screams.
I screamed. I was
Oh,
very
is it?
excited.
You were okay.
He was in a separate room
okay.
with the door closed,
Okay.
and he could still hear me.
Wow.
streaming. So this was a big deal for me.
Yeah, it looks cool.
Well,
Dan had mentioned to me prior that you heard a rumor that there was going to be new gameplay for Final Fantasy VII.
I might have
Yeah,
said
you
that.
mentioned that, or maybe Matt.
No,
I
it
don't
was
know.
Matt. Give credit to Matt. That was Matt. I know where.
Interchangeable.
Fair enough.
Ouch.
So today I took a look at the 2015 game footage that we got for Final Fantasy VII, which
Nice changes.
that's the
I
thing.
saw some nice changes.
That's the thing. Not much changed. The difference was presentation, because I compared the game models from this to that, and the game models haven't changed at all. Yeah, it's legitimately the same game models, but they delivered it better. They changed the lighting a lot of scenes.
Okay, maybe the lighting was a little bit different because I noticed somebody did a side by
the
side
first one was really dark.
Yes, that's what I noticed.
And the first trailer we got, and that was from CyberConnect 2. That was the version they were developing. That's the footage we got, and they didn't have the English animation done yet, so it was just dubbed over with the mouths were moving as if they were speaking Japanese, but they had the English dub overlaid on it, and the trailer was just a bad trailer. This one, they actually had the English dub already created in the models, so we had the words syncing up with what was happening.
I didn't even think of that, but that might mean it's closer than maybe some of us think if they're already.
Well,
at the
I think
point where
there's
they
a
have the English
reason
dubbing.
that we've only seen stuff from the first part of the game, because
Yeah.
that goes with that whole episodic thing. And I was actually reading an article today that the reason they're doing multiple parts is because they did not want to. They made the game really, really big, and they didn't want to be forced to take out chunks. So if it means I'm getting more of Final Fantasy VII, I'm willing to take the episodic.
Yeah, I'm fascinated by how they're going to do this. Like, are these going to be full $60 games?
I hope not.
Like, is it going to be like a full game where like you could play when you start the second episode, you start at level 1 again? Because if not,
I hope not.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's going to be you
No, it
continue your
would-
game. But if that's the case, I'm going to level up to 99 in this
No.
first episode, and
They'll
then
probably cap it.
No,
and then everyone's going to be like max level going into episode 2.
but have you played Hitman before?
I have
Hitman
not
did
played those.
episodic, and the great thing is, and this is why I'm excited for it, is eventually they will make a physical edition about it for Final Fantasy VII.
Oh,
At some
eventually.
point.
I'm going to be the guy who buys both, though. 'Cause I want it. I want.
I know. I want the
immediate
now.
gratification.
I mean, it is going to be that good, but
Rarely am I in that situation that you are in, where I'm buying like multiple copies of games just to get the nicer version. But I will buy those episodes, play them through, play them to death, and then still buy the physical version and replay the whole fucking thing. I will do that.
no, I know. But no, I thought the episodic did initially scare me too. But when I saw the way that Hitman did it in Hitman like Season 1, terrible title for a video game, but anyway, they did a really nice job. They basically just broke it into like this part, and then you unlocked like items that went to the next one. So I don't know what the level system would be, but
It's going to be weird, like with side quests and stuff. It's like, oh, are you going to? Because I mean, there's secret characters in this game. Like, are you going to have to only get them in the first episode, or like? I mean, I guess that's never really the case. You could probably get them in any episode, but does that mean at the end of the first episode you're going to have every character, or you're just only going to have like the 4 or 5
the
characters
world
from Midgar?
opens up. That's right.
It's
Would
just
you be able to
confusing.
go everywhere in the world? Are they going to cap off like which parts of the world you can go to? I'm sure they've worked it out somehow.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many
they
ways
can't
could go.
force
Kinda-
in a game like that. They couldn't force you to go to what the next map.
No,
I would've
because once you leave, spoiler alert, once you leave Midgar, the world opens up and you can. Well, no, they do kind of limit you to where you can go based on what vehicle you have.
Because you need to
though.
get the submarine to go across to the other continent.
Yeah.
And then after that, you get an airplane.
'Cause you don't-
to go to the third continent.
Because you can't get certain characters right away. You can't get Yuffie or Sid right away. You can't get Vincent right away either.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know when you get. I try to ignore Kate Sith, so I don't really know where in the game you get him.
I just hope
forget.
it's not like
Gold
we get-
Saucer. That's where you get him.
Like if we get episode 1, is episode 2 not going to be another 2 years later?
Constantly in the background.
Oh, I really liked that theme. Do 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 do.
Not when it's on repeat.
So is the episodic thing going to deter you from getting it?
I mean, it's definitely. I'm still going to get it. I'm just kind of very intrigued about how they're going to do it. I'm very worried about the cadence. Like how after we get episode 1, is it going to be like 2 years before we get the next episode? Because if these are going to be huge
not.
Final Fantasy style games, that wouldn't be like unreasonable. But then what is it going to be like 5 years after the PS5 is made? They're still making PS4 games? Like, it doesn't, none of it makes sense to me.
Well, I think that's...
Unless it's like a PS5 launch game and they're just going to announce that or something.
Well, that
which
might
would
be
make
why
sense.
it's download only, because if it's download only, it doesn't matter which system it's on. It's download. It could be
That
for
would
any
make
system
sense.
with the episodic, and then after the PS5 launches, which this is a timed PS5 or PlayStation exclusive.
I believe that's
correct?
the case, yeah.
So once the PS5 is out, once the Xbox 2 is out, I don't know what the hell they're calling that, that's when they'll release the full edition, and probably on both systems at that point. Or all three.
Yeah, I mean, I guess maybe we'll find out
I don't know
next,
about the
'cause
Switch, but
the trailer...
Pro.
The
can
trailer
dump it
said
down.
we
I've
would,
seen them do worse.
they said we would learn more in June, so hopefully at E3
Yeah,
they'll
I
like
know.
We'll see what happens.
maybe
Super
tell us
excited.
some about some more about that.
I mean, it looked good. It looked like the fighting style of Final Fantasy 15, which I
Yeah.
enjoy. That was the only salvageable part of that game.
That is the one thing I noticed between the two footage, the two amounts of footage, was that the original footage in 2015, the overlay, and them, it was probably because they were early in development. The overlay of the battle system looked really weird. Now, like you see it now, and it's like each button has a different thing you can do. It looks a lot more ready to be put out there, and it did look like kind of they might not make it exactly like FF15, but they are kind of going that route of having it be like an active style battle system, which I know you're really excited for because you hate the turn base.
Well,
That's going to be weird, too. I like the turn-based.
oh, it's definitely not turn-based, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, I love the fact that they're changing this. It changed with the times.
Well, see, I loved Final Fantasy VII for its story and the world. Like, I didn't care that it was turn-based. I still play turn-based games. I'm fine with turn-based games. Octopath Traveler is turn-based, and that's an amazing amount of fun, you know? I will say that you can do turn-based correctly. Like, you could at least make it
can
a little
update it.
more... Yeah, like Octopath Traveler really updated what
yeah.
turn-based
And if you
combat
played
was.
like Final Fantasy X-2, it's actually it's the same way where it's the old school style, but it's really fast. I mean, the game itself is a different story, but the fighting is really fast. So when you're like, you can set 3 commands, and by the time the first guy's already attacking, the second guys and third guys are already like attacking too. So you can make it much quicker.
When it comes to RPGs, I could go either way. I don't care what the battle system is, as long as it's not like whatever FF13 was doing for a battle system, as long as it's not that. So you could have either turn-based or FF15 like active battle for me, as long as the story is there and the world is, shaping up, and there's,
Yeah, I
I just want them to flesh out the story a little bit.
I feel like that was the one thing with Final Fantasy that always scared me is, the characters look neat, the design looks neat, but
You
it
mean
was
those blocks?
no, it was neat for the time. The cutscenes in that game were incredible.
It's the first game to have cutscenes like that.
Yeah, but
On a console.
with Final Fantasy, it seems like after, I want to say 10, every game seemed to kind of change the combat. Like, they drastically changed it from 10 to 11. 11 was online.
11 was online. That
And
was
then
a lot different.
11 to 12. 12 was that weird thing where you selected like an enemy,
that's-
and then like a little line came out of your head and targeted something. And
Yeah, that was weird.
It was a good game. It was just the combat, I just didn't enjoy it that much. Final Fantasy 13, I don't know what that was. It was like
The paradigm
select,
system.
move around, and
Some people do like that system. It just wasn't for me.
no, it felt like a giant. I didn't know. It was just bad. And then 14 was online again, and then
Yeah.
15 I loved. It was a nice mix between like a hack and slash and like kind of turn based, because you kind of still were sitting there selecting which one you want. So
Too bad. Everything else
Yeah,
about
it's
that
like
game was...
too bad that
Just
game was also
way-
a bummer for
yeah.
every other reason.
Going into... I could talk about Final Fantasy VII for
Yeah, I
another
could talk.
5
We could
hours,
literally
but
do that
going on
for-
to the other games that were announced, I gotta be honest, a couple of them did look really neat. River Bond looks like just a fun couch co-op game. Like, it reminds me a lot of, something like Overcooked, where you can get 4 people together on a couch and just like play a fun smash 'em up RPG or battle game, whatever it was. So I'm actually going to be checking that out. And Monster Hunter World Iceborne. So this is funny. I don't know why it had this effect on me. I thought it looked bad, but for some reason that triggered me to want to play Monster Hunter World, and I don't know why that is, because that doesn't make any sense whatsoever. But I'm really thinking about checking that out soon.
No?
Or borrowing it from Dan.
Okay, yeah, I was just gonna say I'm
so
pretty much done with it for
I
now.
don't have
So
to spend money because I'm really cheap when it comes to video games.
that's your title.
Away Survival Series, like I don't know how that game's gonna play up. I thought that was kind of neat that you're this raccoon, you're kind of playing from that perspective, and you're trying to just survive. Like
Yeah, it looks interesting, but I feel
world.
like it almost seems boring too. Like, what are you going to do after 20 minutes
Yeah.
of like, this is fun? Like, is there a game in there? I guess they have more time to show, but I didn't really see
Yeah.
much that really gripped me.
So yeah, what did you two think about the other games? I know we talked about the Predator game a little bit. Anything else that caught your eye?
I'm really excited for Medieval.
Okay.
I never really played it as a kid, and it looked like just a fun hack and slash, and it just looks really good. I mean, it's only like $30 too.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know how much of a remaster it's going to be at $30. Obviously, Resident Evil remaster was a full remaster, and that was
Yeah.
60. But I know it was good back in the day, and I feel like they're only gonna make it playable for the now.
Yeah, I was going to ask, like, who has nostalgia for this game? Like, I nothing against it. It looks like a decent game, but I don't know anyone that's like, oh, I need another medieval game in my life. There's like 100 PlayStation games I'd have before this game.
I think it's
But-
kind of like remaking Crash Bandicoot or Spyro. Like, it's
but
just like a
people-
platformer.
Yeah, I mean, I
from-
guess.
I
mean, it's
remember
probably
it being
not
pretty
relatively
big, like
easy to do.
that skeleton face of him was
that's the
kind
thing.
of big, not huge. He wasn't Spyro, he
Yeah.
wasn't Crash Bandicoot, but I remember he was one of the icons.
How many games
for
they
a while.
made? Was it just the one? Or was
No,
it-
there was a few. They also went to the PSP as well.
Missed
But
all of these.
and then I think I don't know if it's attached because I just saw it the other day. There was a PlayStation Move game, and it had the title Medieval in it, but it didn't do well. I mean, what PlayStation Move exclusive game did really well? Not many. So I think it just kind of fell flat, and people kind of forgot about it a little bit. So for $30, a nice little quick hack and slash with a goofy story, like almost like a Crash,
Yeah,
not
definitely.
Crash Bandicoot,
Check out.
Banjo-Kazooie type of thing. Yeah, I'm
Aside
game
from the
for it.
remake, they've only had 3 games. There was Medieval 1 and 2 for the PlayStation.
Resurrection,
and,
right?
The second one was released really late in the PlayStation's life, like right before the PS2 launched. Then there was, Resurrection. That
yep.
must have been the PSP one.
Yep.
That was later re-released on the PlayStation Store, the PS4 PlayStation Store.
So the PlayStation Plus, the PlayStation Move one was not connected to that one.
I don't know.
No, it had the word medieval in it, and there was skeletons on the cover, and I was like, oh, I wonder
Doesn't
if
say
that's
anything about
attached.
that. It just goes
to the
straight to the
series.
remake after that,
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
according to my friend Wiki.
Your friend Wiki.
Yeah, anything else you guys want to say about the state of play?
No, I was just very shocked at the way it was going. I was just very shocked that they dropped Final Fantasy there. I thought it was a nice surprise. It was a very, very nice
they were going
surprise.
to do it?
When you saw the
the
letters.
beginning?
At the beginning.
Yeah.
Because within the
The
first
ding.
3 seconds, they did the ding from Final Fantasy VII. That's how they started
mini
the state of
select
play.
screen.
Did you catch that and know
Yes.
immediately? Immediately.
Yes, absolutely. 100%. I've heard that noise so many times in my life. The doo-doo-doo. I knew it. I knew what that noise was. It was the same thing when the first time I saw the trailer
And you
for
heard
the FF7 remake, and I saw that slide from Midgar in that broken down, busted up area of Midgar, and I'm like,
cat sit
that's
slide.
the slide from Midgar. And sure enough,
It was.
Final
Good
Fantasy
call.
VII. No, because that's, I've played through Final Fantasy VII at least 8 or 9 times now, so I know specifically all of the sound effects from just that one Final Fantasy game. So when it started out the state of play like that, I'm like, oh, Matt's rumor is true.
True.
But at the time, I thought Dan's rumor was true because I thought you told me.
No, it was Matt's.
So
I mean, I'll
anyways,
take the credit, but
moving on. There's a little bit of a loot box legislation going down in Missouri. On May 8th, Josh Hawley, I assume that's how you pronounce that, a Republican from Missouri, proposed a bill, a very bare bones bill at that, trying to prohibit loot boxes and play-to-win features from video games aimed at minors. The bill was very vague, and I don't really know how you distinguish which game is a game for minors and which game is not, because I'm pretty sure more elderly people play Bejeweled and Candy Crush than minors at this
Yeah,
point.
the only thing I think would be like if any game that has a loot box, they would just have to automatically make it like M for mature or something.
That's true.
ouch. Wow. That would be
It's like technically Overwatch. Technically, little kids play Overwatch. Little kids play Apex Legends. Like, there's loot boxes in pretty much every game. Are you guys a proponent for removing them completely?
Not for removing them. I'm very laissez-faire, do what you want. I do think with children that is a special case where obviously we don't let children go into casinos and gamble. So I'm kind of torn on this. On the one side, I don't want the government in my video games. On the other side, I respect that we shouldn't let kids gamble and we shouldn't train them to gamble and train them about addiction and things like that. So if someone said, if push came to shove and someone said, oh, okay, we're going to make any game with a loot box and for mature, I might not be totally against that because first off, I'm totally sick and tired of these loot boxes in my video games. And second, kids shouldn't be seeing these gambling, mini gambling things in their games all the time.
I mean, it was here a long time before loot boxes though. Like any arcade that has tickets you can win by putting in a lot of tokens into those things and trying to win more tokens. It is a microtransaction.
That's why they made
I've never seen them try to get rid of those.
Well, that's why they made Pac-Man and those things. They were the original microtransaction. They made the game so ridiculously hard that so the one person would not stick at one game for that long.
I'm not even talking about that because that's not a loot box. You're not getting any money back from a Pac-Man game. But if you go to those arcade machines where you're putting the coins in to try to win tickets or try to win more coins,
that's
claw
true.
machines, that's gambling.
Yeah.
You're trying to win additional coins. You're trying to... you could sit here and say that a claw machine is skill, but we all know that it's not. They're programmed to only give you a stuffed animal every 100 coins put in and such like that. So it's around more than just loot boxes. Yeah. So this seems like a very targeted attack. I mean,
I think Matt mentioned something last episode about the price of games and especially how expensive it is to make these things. I mean, they do tons of research. They make some crazy detailed games, characters, voice actors, all these things they gotta, put into it. I wouldn't be against raising the price of PlayStation 5 next gen games if they remove these darn things from the game. Make it $70, make it $80, but remove all the DLC crap to it. Make the full game. But I know that's risky, jumping up.
You're gonna get both, Dan. I'm sure you're gonna get both.
Yeah, and that's what I don't want. I mean, one or the other. But if this law was to come to pass, and these companies needed to find another way to get in at that point, I wouldn't mind them all coming together and say, hey, look, let's just charge $70 for a game, and let's just throw everything in there.
Yeah, but they see how much money they can make from the loot boxes, and also.
But if something like this were to hit them, they'd have to find another way.
But DLC, I'm fine with because I feel like DLC, not in every game. I understand some games purposely take content out of the disc version so they can charge you for it later. But I think there's also some companies if I'm making a game. I'm making a Pikachu game, and I'm not sure how good it's going to sell. I have a set plan. As long as the game I'm releasing is a full $60 of content, that's fine. And then if the game does well, they decide, oh, it's doing well, people like it, let's make additional content for it. That's a bit different. I'm fine with that, because I'm fine paying money for additional content as long as there's the money's worth of content already on the game to start with. I'm also fine with loot boxes in certain situations. Overwatch has loot boxes, and I'm fine with it because they're just skins and they give you a ton of them. They give you an overabundance. I think there's a right and wrong way to do it, especially when it comes to the play to win scenarios.
The more I've been thinking about Overwatch is that is a $60 game with microtransactions. That was the only thing that hurt me a little bit. That's why with Apex, I don't mind that they're not designed extremely detailed compared to each one. So and I played Overwatch again. I think after we talked, I thought about it. Overwatch is also a
game with free updates, free characters every other month. Free
Apex
maps.
is as well.
So you would rather have Overwatch just charge for those extra characters instead? But Apex started out for free though.
It did. Well, again, I'm coming into it when I played it, I bought it for $20. So I saw it as, this is great. But then I was thinking, okay, if I bought this for $60...
$60, but you're not forced to buy those loot boxes. They're all skins.
No, I understand.
Paying to play.
But here's another thing: is I also don't know what they started out with compared to what they've added for free. So again, my opinion is a little bit different because they might have added all that stuff for free, all those characters.
They
and things
started
like that.
out with a ton ton of characters and maps and stuff like that. I did not feel like they were lacking in content when it launched.
Well, see, that's where it might be different for me, because I did not know what they started out for free and what I had to pay for separately.
No, I mean, Overwatch, you didn't have to pay anything separately. You paid $60 and you basically get the game. It's always online. That's the caveat. But like, it's popular. Servers haven't gone down and aren't going down anytime soon. But you also get all of the future free characters and free updates. They've never made you pay for anything.
No, then, like I said,
We've digressed.
yeah.
Yeah.
We've kind of hit a wall. But yes, I'm with Matt, where once you pay $60, I understand some little things maybe after, like if it's story related, but I just have a hard time with $60 and then, oh, hey, just a few more dollars, if you want. I understand they give it for free in Blizzard. Blizzard at least does it right. I don't like when they lock things behind a complete
Don't get me wrong,
money paywall.
I'm sick of it. I'm sick of all of the games doing the microtransactions and crap like that. Just, it doesn't affect me because I just don't do it. I don't pay for it. I'll pay for decent DLC down the line, like a good story DLC, like this Monster Hunter add-on, and it looks like something that's probably worth the money paid towards it, that I would pay towards it if it's not free.
Yep.
But
They've
like,
added a lot of stuff for free too.
I don't pay any of the money to them. I don't.
That's true. Well, see, that's fine and good when it's just cosmetic. But again, with Assassin's Creed Odyssey, where I feel like the impact of, hey, let's remove or let's lower the XP that you earn so that you have to grind, and give you, oh, hey, you can buy the $5 time saver pack where, you'll boost a little bit faster. And that impacted the game directly because, again, slog, or what was the word you used? It was like a drudge. It was no, it's probably not the right word, but it was just tough to get through in the middle of that game because it just felt like you weren't earning any kind of XP. And that's where the microtransaction, I have a big problem with.
So the thing is, this didn't talk about microtransactions.
Yeah, it's just loot boxes.
Loot boxes in general.
Government intervention.
The fact, because you get free loot boxes in Overwatch, they would take those away. If the game was...
How would they earn content then?
I'm throwing up my arms now in confusion.
Well, wait a minute. So wait, they would remove loot boxes. See, I don't mind...
It's not a very well thought out bill.
No, it's not. It's not. I also doubt any of them play video games, so that's the other thing. They're just kind of like shooting in the dark, like, oh, I don't know what a loot box is. But I don't mind when it's strictly like you earn it in the game, like you automatically earn the free stuff. When you can also pay money is when I have the problem. So I don't mind unlocking stuff and earning it the hard way. It's just when they throw the money part of
like
it.
Random chances.
Yeah.
Well,
like
random
loot
chances
boxes,
for money or random chances
for
in
money.
general? Because I mean that's
gambling.
That's all about opening a loot chest in almost any game. It's gambling. You don't know what's going to be.
It only wants to take away paid loot boxes.
Yeah.
Paid, that would make sense.
Oh. So would you two be a proponent for this bill if it went through? Matt's really on the fence.
I am on the fence. Like, I hate the government touching video games, but
Let go of your feelings.
Like, I think people should be able to put loot boxes in their games. I have no I don't like them, but I have no issue with them being able to do what they want as long as they're not, targeting towards kids. Because I think that gets a little predatory when you're talking about 12-year-olds that are spending $200 or $300 on like something that they don't need, or they accidentally spend their parents' money or something.
Oh, half the
but
time.
then on the other
parents are
hand, it's like,
actually
why are
letting them
why are your parents letting you handle your
Good
credit cards? So it's tough.
parenting. Yay.
But yeah, they probably shouldn't. You probably shouldn't have loot boxes in an E-rated game. I mean, that's what I'll say, because they're not for kids. I don't think.
Yeah,
gambling.
that's a good point. What about you, Dan? Would you be a proponent for it?
It's
Obviously not. It's not very fleshed out at the moment.
It's not, but I would just rather them up the price and then just permanently that's it. But
See,
I would say no.
Really
I would say no. I mean, yes, I agree. I think they should remove them in that way. But I do want these companies to find ways to make money later, because I understand we had this whole microtransaction conversation later, and obviously when somebody buys a pre-owned game, that company's going to get no money, and I think that is unfair. But I want them to find some way to make money. I just think like the time saver ones are just awful.
Yeah.
I don't mind the
That's
little
true.
things.
Those need to go away.
So yeah, it's that's the only part that hurts it. Or when they remove a ton of content or characters. I know Capcom was had a big issue with that, where they would put the content would actually be on the disc. Like you own the content, but you couldn't
Capcom's
access
gotten in
it.
trouble with that in the past.
So I mean, they've been much better with their stuff.
So I just as a final say, I wouldn't mind the bill going through, because I know it's not really. I guess I wouldn't care either way, because I know it's not going to stop anything, because they're just taking away paying money for a random chance. That's not going to stop Call of Duty from selling a reticle for $3, because you know what you're getting for the $3. That's not going to stop microtransactions in general. But I do agree that kids should not be paying money for loot boxes.
I just thought of something, and it would actually, I think, help, and this would be a better way. So obviously, if for example, with Apex, where you can pick what you want and buy it, correct? With the
in most games they have both.
I think, because I think a lot of these companies will make terrible things that you can put in the loot boxes, just kind of like baseball cards. You open, there's going to be some crappy people you open up and go, oh yeah, these are crap, these aren't worth something. But I feel like if this were to pass and they were, hey, you gotta pick and choose what you want to buy, they're going to put more effort into that, knowing that, hey, we want people to spend their points on these things, rather than, oh, hey, we're going to put a reticle out there for $2 that you can potentially get for free, or not for free, but for like when you buy, a loot box or whatever. And at this point, hey, we can't just put a reticle out there. We need to put something that people actually want, because they're not going to buy this for an additional $1 or whatever. They're gonna, hey, this needs to be designed well, like a good cosmetic item that people are paying for or whatever.
Speaking of you not buying things, you're not buying the new Ghost Recon.
No, I am not. I am going to cancel my pre-order after I got home and very disappointingly found something out.
So it
What is
turns
this called?
out,
I can't. Is this the worst?
Ghost Recon Breakpoint.
Okay, it's the worst name I've ever heard.
It is a very
because I
bad
keep forgetting the name. I keep wanting to say Badlands, but that's not it.
I guess. Yeah.
So the first time I heard it was an hour ago when you said the name, and I have not forgotten it since. So,
well, maybe it's just
why?
me.
Do you know what I think of? The movie Point Break, and I just reverse it. So I just think of Keanu Reeves every time I think of this game now.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
That sounds awesome, but
So
that's not the
was
game.
discovered this week that the new Ghost Recon game, the more or less follow-up
Well,
to
the game
Ghost
was
Recon
also announced,
Wildlands.
yeah.
Yeah, well, the game was announced, and it was also discovered that it will be DRM. It will be always requiring an internet connection. And as long as I've known Dan, he has always been a strong proponent of, he will legitimately never buy a game that requires always online unless it's on sale or for free.
Oh, come on. I mean, it was free. I want to...
He's talking about Fallout
I
76.
want Fallout 70. Well, because I thought they allowed mods in Fallout 4, and I thought at that point,
So,
hey, all right, yeah,
you're
I
not
know.
buying Ghost Recon.
No, I'm not. I know.
Because of
I
the
was going to
DRM
get back
issue.
to the Ghost Recon. Yes, I'm not buying Ghost Recon.
I'll be getting it.
Yeah, I'm still gonna, because, all right, so here's the thing. It being DRM does not change my stance on what I was going to do with the game or what I was going to use it for. I was still, the only thing I was going to buy it for was to play co-op.
Yeah.
And then if I did want to play the single player, my PS4 is always online anyways. Now, if this was a game that I could see myself 10 years from now wanting to replay or something, that's when I can understand, because who knows what's going to happen with always online and servers, and I don't know how all that wacky computer stuff works, but as of right now, I was just going to buy it, play it for 4 months, and then sell it. I was going to enjoy the co-op.
I beat the entire Wildlands by myself.
But are you going to play it 10 years from now?
I think I would. You know me with third-person open world games, especially like...
I also know how many games you have.
Exactly. But the fact is, I really love... I think I will play Days Gone 10 years from now. I will play big open world third-person shooter games. I love those, especially tactical ones like Ghost Recon Wildlands. I have gone back to Wildlands many, many times from the updates that they've had, from other people just getting it and saying like, oh, hey, I'm just getting into this. And then they added like some of the multiplayer stuff. So they
multiplayer stuff. Like
it's
the
not
PvP
great.
Sucked.
It's not great. It's not great.
the
but it was
co-op
free.
stuff was nice.
It was absolutely free. So I was like, why not? And then they added like a survival mode, which was nearly impossible by yourself.
So you're even just to buy it and then sell it a few months later.
Nope.
Completely.
Nope.
Off. Just to play it with us.
Nope.
Out of principle, or just because?
No, it's frustrating me because I know I'm going to love the game, and I don't like the fact that I'm not going to be able to play it in 10 years when they shut off the server.
You don't think they will change it
I don't think
in the future?
I don't think
because SimCity, I'm pretty sure you can play SimCity without the DRM now. That was a big issue.
They took that out.
They would need to confirm that, and I would buy Anthem in a heartbeat if they said you could finally play the single player offline.
Yeah, but single player sucks.
I still.
Nobody wants to play that game, regardless of how you're playing it.
Did you beat it, Matt?
Which game?
Anthem.
No, I got to the famous temple,
that tunnel thing. Yeah.
the temple or whatever.
Yeah.
Quest that takes hours, and I said I'm never touching this again.
So does the always online bother you at all?
No, I think this is fascinating that it bothers Dan so much, but these are multiplayer games primarily, and you're playing them online with people.
Ghost Recon was single player.
I mean, it's single player.
It was a single player.
I played a Division. I played a Division 2 a lot single player. I played some of it multiplayer. I don't really see the issue with it being always online. There's a lot of things with like they want to stop cheating. They want to add like events. They want to add like randomness.
Which I don't mind in a multiplayer realm, but I want to play it offline. I don't want people in my game. I don't want to. If I come home on a weekend and realize they're doing a friggin' update, I can't play it. That's annoying as hell. That I can't.
Well, I mean, even a single player game.
Can you play Diablo 3 offline?
You don't have to. No, you don't. You can cancel the update and just play it single player.
Yeah.
Half the time, it doesn't even let me do that.
Yeah, you can. You can always just cancel and say play without the update.
Yeah, but I want the update.
Yeah, you want the update, but you don't need it. The thing is, Ghost Recon, you can play Wildlands, you can play by yourself. They also added an ability later that you could remove your teammates, who were horribly voice acted, by the way. So I literally played it by myself, and I enjoyed every single moment of it. It does not need a connection online. If you add it on as, hey, you can play it multiplayer if you want, that's awesome. I just don't like the idea that
I will say I don't
removes
understand
an ability.
Why the single player would need online only.
It doesn't need it. It's something that you can play with squad or with a co-op person if you want.
What was the reasoning? What was the reasoning for that being DRM on single player? Like something with the XP?
Just like what Matt was. Well, it was something to do from what I saw where they were trying to kind of make the single player campaign as well as like the multiplayer where you earn experience
so you
points.
share experience.
You share experience, but I don't understand
multiplayer.
I just don't understand. I don't mind if you don't earn XP through like the single player for the multiplayer. Again, that has always been a thing. Halo, you never earned.
If keeping it offline is going to impede the vision for the game, I would prefer them to keep it online.
Well, yes, but
that's the game they want to make. Fallout 76, they were purposely making a game where you had people online. Now, I know that game was a piece of crap, but not because it was online only.
Yeah, but that was because of
there
the
was
server.
many other reasons.
Well, yes, but that was also because of the server issues was one of the huge things. And all these games, Anthem had a huge launch issue. Fallout 76 had a big launch issue. I know Destiny 2 was another one that had a bad launch issue. And just a lot of these games, they can't handle, like, the technology is great that you can play multiplayer games like this, but for constantly, like a story where you need to constantly be online and you need to, play an hour and then save it at a certain point, you can't, at any point they could just bump you off because of some weird server connection. I can't stand that fact that they can just bump you off because of something else. Or with one of the reasons I don't like The Division is other people are in your game. That is the biggest thing that bothers me. I don't want to see some 7-year-old jumping around like a moron with, some childish title like, I pwn you. Like, no, I don't want you in my game. I play these for... Hang on. I play these for the single player story alone. That's why I am enjoying the heck out of Days Gone. I don't have anybody in my world that is bothering me when I'm playing this game. I want to play the story the way I want. I don't want to see other people. It ruins the immersion of a single-player game when you have other people running around, in my opinion. And for Ghost Recon Wildlands, I enjoyed the hell out of sitting there, being able to, scope out what I wanted, when I wanted, not having to worry if I get halfway through this base that, at one point my game can shut off and I can get a server connection issue and lose the past hour that I've just done. That just bothers the crap out of me.
So why don't you just buy it, play with us, and just sell it for like $50?
Borderlands 3 is coming out within 2-3 weeks.
Yeah, but that was going to happen regardless.
Yeah, but now I'm just going to it's a good reason for me to not spend more money at that point, because I was going to be suckered into buying the.
Can you play Borderlands single player?
Yes.
Offline?
Yes, that has been confirmed that you can play it offline. So if they don't, I'm not. So I can't stand the fact of being always online, because there's always some frustration of they're doing server updates.
Did you have many issues with Destiny when it came to that? Always online? Because you played Destiny 1 and 2.
Yeah, I played them both. I mean, I'm always connected to the internet with my systems. I've never had an issue with it. Like, those are games I'm going to want to play with other people.
But specifically, you got them on the first week for both games. So
Yes.
did you notice any like server crashes? I know Anthem had a lot of issues, and Fallout 76, I mean,
Still having
had
issues.
more than server issues. There was a lot.
Oh,
more
I know.
going on
It
with
was.
that
It was.
game.
I haven't had any issues with like the early game or anything like that with those ones. So
Yeah,
they've-
I don't know how many games
together.
I've played that have been DRM. I don't really keep track of it. Overwatch is DRM, and aside, I've had the game for 3 years. It's gone down a couple times, but that happens with any online only game once in a while. That doesn't really impede me. I mean, I'm paying the money to make sure I'm having fun. So as long as I'm having fun with my money's worth, because I can get $60 worth out of a game and not be able to play it 10 years from now. And if I don't think I'll be able to play it in the future, I'll just sell it for like 40 or 50 bucks.
Yeah, and the game itself looks fun. Like I saw the videos. I've seen some gameplay videos. It just looks like a fun open world. If you liked Wildlands, you'll like this game too. So I'm looking forward to playing it.
The only experience I really have with Wildlands is the beta and the PvP Dan and I did, which was not fun. The
Yeah, I
PvP
know.
was not
The
fun.
I've
PvP
never
is
done
is
PvP
it's
in that
not
game.
wonderful, but it was added on later for free.
Yeah.
So
I'm
again,
very interested,
when
but
they-
I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can really blow $60 on this game. I don't know if it's worth $60 to me yet.
It's not.
Well,
No, I'm kidding.
for a
I'm
different
kidding. I know.
Reasoning. I know you, Matt.
Yeah, I
you
guess
might get it
we'll
with
find out more.
GameFly.
It will. It's
or-
Ubisoft. They'll throw a lot of content into it. Do what they do with every game.
And then, if after 2 weeks I don't like it, I can, just sell it on eBay or something and get most of my money back. But it looks like a game that could be fun for
See-
on and off play for a little while.
The thing that I'm surprised that you are interested in, Matt, is that you are playing it right now. It's called The Division 2.
I am playing The Division 2.
It literally is the same. See, for me, that was the thing. Like, The Division was neat, but I didn't want to play co-op online. I didn't want some MMO RPG. I wanted...
I mean, it's not that bad. You just do... See, with Division 2, I'm not playing with, like, a guild or anything. I'm playing most of the side missions by myself, because the matchmaking sucks for those. And then for the main missions and, like, the, higher level stuff, I just do matchmaking, quick, play with some random people for an hour, and then we never talk to each other ever again.
Yeah,
It's
but
great.
I don't want other people playing in my game. I want to play it by myself, and that's fine. If a game is designed for that, like, I know there's a lot of games that require, like, hey, 4 people to play, but when I play a story game like Ghost Recon, I want to be immersed in the world. I want to listen to the cutscenes. I want to, I want to hear the radio. I don't want, there's always chat. Whenever I'm playing a game like that, there's always people just talking over everything, and you don't get to be immersed in the story. That's why with Days Gone, somehow if you could play as like Boozer or something, that would ruin the immersion for me for that game.
Did they say that you couldn't play it single player without other people in your world? Because
No, you can, but I don't. Again, that goes back to in the back of my head, I know that at any point in time they can kick you off, and I don't
you can
like
still
that.
play it without other people.
You could do that with Fallout 76. It's just I don't like the fact that you have to constantly be on an internet connection.
No, Fallout 76 doesn't have a single player mode yet. You always have people in your world, don't you?
Well, you always have people in your world, and I
talking
know
about just playing by yourself in a world without other people running around, like Ghost Recon Wildlands. You don't have. To
I
play
would
in a world
assume
with
that
other
you
people.
can do that. That goes back to the main point. Is I don't like the fact that it's an always online connection. I don't.
I'm just saying that at least quelches some of your other issues, like somebody talking over your cutscene. Well, it's not going to do that if you play it in single player.
No, that is true. But there's also, I have not confirmed whether it is that or not. It might be like The Division, where you go into a hub and you can buy a bunch of stuff and there's people running around. But I don't even want that. I think that breaks immersion too, because you realize you're just playing, a game with a bunch of people online. It's just something that bothers me, and that's fine if, like I said, other people like to do the online or always online. I just prefer that I can play it offline whenever I want. God forbid. Like
I just
said,
can't wait for the day when you call me up and said, "Well, it was $10."
I'm not. No.
You said that with Fallout 76 too.
Fallout 76, there was a chance that you could mod it, or someone could mod it for Xbox. That's why I bought it for Xbox One, not PlayStation 4, that you can mod it and remove the internet connection
How's
to
that
it.
mod going?
It's going terribly.
Okay.
But again, I got it for free. So that was the difference. Anyway, point
Matt
is...
and I might have fun with it anyways, even if
We're
you're
gonna
not
have a
gonna-
Or you could... hey,
See that
guys,
trailer? It
guys,
was-
you know what's great? You can get Ghost Recon Wildlands now.
I have it now.
Yeah,
See
you're
those
welcome.
like wolves guys in the trailer?
Yeah.
like-
yeah.
Guys all in black with the mask.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if that's gonna work like in like Resident Evil 2, where like the Mr. X is just like kind of following you.
F.
It's just like following you, and you're terrified of him the whole time. You played that, right?
That would be frustrating.
Or like if they're just gonna be like for special missions, or if you're just gonna like stumble upon them halfway through the game, and they're just gonna be like following you, hunting you.
I don't know, but not
That would be
to
fun with the hunting, but...
cut us off of this, but
Not for
I feel
Dan,
like, I
though.
feel like
No,
me
not
and
for me.
Andy.
Not for
Sorry.
me, unless they say you can play it offline.
Dan kind of ran through all of our time for that topic, but that's okay because I don't know how much we have
I'm
to
looking
say about
forward
the
to
next
it.
thing. You know what I'm actually looking forward to until the information I found out today came to light.
What's that?
WoW Classic got a release date.
Oh yeah, that's weird.
It is releasing on 8/27/19, but
For consoles?
so here's the thing. When I heard about WoW Classic,
take that as a no.
in my head, it was just a separate game you could buy and play. It didn't even occur to me, oh, it's playing just like the original World of Warcraft, so it's online because it's an open world thing. People who have a WoW subscription get this game for free, and that's the end. So you still have to get a WoW, like a monthly WoW subscription to
$15
play
or
this
whatever.
game. $15 a month. But you don't have to pay like extra money to play. Like if you just wanted to get a WoW subscription, you could play WoW Classic automatically. But I mean, they're not just going to give you a game. It's a PC only game. They're not just going to let you play that open world game that is on their servers for free with like millions of other people. That's never been what they're about. They're always about the subscription fee. I was hoping maybe they would do a separate, hey, pay $3 a month.
Yeah,
to
that'd
play
be nice,
Just
something
WoW Classic. Or hey, if you
smaller.
Because like you
Or
could
just... do they have microtransactions in that game?
Well, I mean, I'm sure they do.
See, I'm
they?
surprised it has not gone free to play yet.
Well, because they still have millions and millions and millions of players, so there's no reason for it to be free to play. And they still have expansions coming out.
Wow.
Yeah, I think they're.
It's dwindled. Don't get me wrong.
Oh,
It's dwindled.
any game is going to do that after...
I think with the WoW Classic, they're gonna have a release schedule, so they're gonna release like all these like updates that they've taken over like many years, and it's gonna be like probably a much faster cadence. So it'll be kind of interesting. Like it won't get stale, potentially. But
Yeah,
I'm not really sure. I'm even looking forward to this. Like I loved WoW. I loved playing it in 2005 when it came out, but I don't know if I want to do like all that slow walking again and like
No flying mounts.
yeah, no flying mounts. Like Molten Core was like one of the most fun time I've had playing a video game, but do I want to like start from scratch doing Molten Core
Yeah.
and all that like early level raid stuff again where like
Yeah.
they didn't it was like really hard to get 40 people together, just all of that.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's
nonsense.
a group of people who, you know, WoW is basically the only thing they play, and they really want to revisit that time period. But like for you, it seems like what you were just saying, it's like that was a special time in your life when you
Yeah.
played WoW, and you're kind of over it.
Yeah, like I don't think you can just like dip back into that and be like, oh, this is just as fun as it was back in the day.
Yeah, I started playing when Burning Crusade came out, and you know, I generally had fun, especially when I was playing with friends. I haven't really been able to get back into WoW since. Every year, I'll buy like a month, I'll play it for a month, and I'll start a new character every single time, and it's fine. I'm
went off the rails
probably
at
not
one
going to
point.
get this,
Yeah.
but I'm sure for a lot of people that's going to be their jam. I know you've been talking about it for a while, so I'm actually surprised to hear that you're not getting it.
I'm kind of intrigued by it, but I don't know if I'm going to get it or not. I guess we'll see. I'll have to see.
You can always just get a month.
Information.
Pay
That's
$15.
that's a time suck. Holy
That's
God.
true.
That
That
is
is
a time suck too.
Yeah.
Just want them to make a new MMO completely, like a StarCraft MMO or something.
I mean, Activision
Diablo
Blizzard
MMO
seems
would
to
be
be
even
killing their
better.
games more than making new ones nowadays. I mean, I'm hoping
Diablo?
I'm
Diablo
hoping they
4?
announce something with Diablo 4.
Diablo 4,
So,
yes, that would be fun.
that would be great because Diablo 3 I really enjoyed. Diablo 1 and 2, not as much.
What about a World of Diablo?
World of Diablo.
I think that would directly like cannibalize their World of Warcraft market.
Oh, they
I
could
think
just
time is
clump
doing
it
that.
in.
Like they,
Clump it in.
it's still
Yeah.
the most popular MMO, but I think they've lost like a ton of just because the game's like 15 years old almost. So
Well, they don't have as big of a market share. Like there's other games like, you know, Destiny 1 and 2 and for somewhat Anthem. Like there's a lot of like there was never an MMO that could beat them until the consoles started having some MMO style games. So, I mean, yeah, and a lot of people, the game's changed so much, so drastically over the years that it's just not worth it. And that's why they have the WoW Classic coming out. But I guess for certain people, it's just not going to be something that intrigues them.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to find out more.
So the last thing we wanted to talk about today was a discussion about review scores. And, talk about how they affect the industry and how they affect our personal gaming habits.
Sure.
I'll start us off with this one.
Okay.
I hate them.
You
I
hate
hate
review
reviews.
scores?
I hate the review scores.
Agree with Andy. I've had it. I've had it with review scores, and I've had it with reviewers. Go back, Andy.
Good one, Matt.
Thanks for the segue, Matthew. So here's just a few scores that I looked up today that I vehemently disagree with. Skyward Sword,
What did it get? At 6?
93
93
out of 100. Now, Zelda games inherently always get high scores.
Breath of the Wild.
Ocarina, Breath of the
Breath of the
Wild
Wild was great, but
deserved it.
it definitely did not deserve. I thought Breath of the Wild was a little overrated.
10 out of 10 game. Ocarina of Time is one of the highest rated games on Metacritic, but you also have to look at the time it came out at, like the 90s. But Skyward Sword came out at 2010, 2011, somewhere around there, and it's like barely playable at times. I don't think
Yeah.
it really deserves the 93 it got, considering.
Well,
Yeah, there's this like weird Nintendo bump where like if you're a Mario or a Zelda or like a Metroid, like you get like a 9 almost automatically.
To be fair,
unless
they
you're like
put-
Mario Hoops.
they
That
put
one
a
got
lot
bad
of effort
reviews.
into their games, and they often do deserve.
They
the
often
good
deserve
review
it, but it
scores.
seems like weird when there is a bad one. It seems like people aren't willing to be like,
Yeah.
this game's just okay.
Yeah. Another one, and we've talked about this, Red Dead Redemption 2 has a 97.
Very overrated.
While, all right,
They should all be fired.
No,
I can
they should not
understand
be
these
fired.
review scores if the review scores are based on
Graphics.
the overall quality of the game. Like, this product that was put out looks good, plays good. Like, there's no like glitching gameplay issues in Red Dead. It's just a boring game. I don't understand how it would like be as high as a 97 on Metacritic. Battlefront 2.
Wait, hang on. Adding on to the glitch, I wouldn't say it's a glitch, but the fact of when you're in a duel and God forbid you miss the first target once, and then it triggers to like being in the real world and then shooting a civilian and then getting a wanted level, I wouldn't call that a glitch, but I wouldn't call that well programmed.
Or your horse auto running into people, you're wanted.
Yeah.
Also, they didn't really explain the duel system very well. I
No,
remember
they did
I
not.
had to keep redoing
Yes,
it.
I got
over
shot
and
like
over
12
and
times
over.
outside of a cave because I didn't know how to do it.
Come on, guys. 97 for Red Dead 2. And also, if I see a review between like 8 and 10, I have no really differentiating opinion of what an 8 to a 10 means. Let's just
I
start
could
doing
see
different
that.
things like buy it, rent it, don't buy it. Like, I just want to know, like, bare bones, like, should I play it? Should I not play it?
There's a great reviewer. His name is Angry Centaur Gaming, and he does not give an actual number. He has 4 scores. He says buy it, wait for sale, rent, or never touch it again.
Yeah.
And I was like, that is a really cool.
More people should adopt that
and
system.
and I think that, and I also like the fact Andy touched on this last week of, especially games nowadays where they initially, like No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky came out and there was not a lot to do, and now they have added a ton of content. They've added a third person. They've added like base building. They've added vehicle creation. They've added portals. They've added all this stuff, and I feel like people should give games more credit when they do add,
Like IGN
or
does
fix
that.
things. Yeah, and do like reviews in progress. And I understand that requires more time because you got to go back to the game. But basically, almost like a living review score. Like
Yeah.
it changes with the updates.
Battlefront 2, which I thought, for what it was,
It's good.
was a really, really fun game. I really didn't have any issues with it whatsoever. It was really fun. The multiplayer was really fun. It had a, I think, decent campaign. Definitely not the best campaign in the world, but
Careful.
68
People gonna
critic
get mad at
review,
you.
1.1 user review.
Use check anything with.
Oh, I don't
I was
pay
gonna-
attention to user reviews.
No,
at all.
but
I'm just
it is
saying that
funny.
was funny. That was a specifically funny one because I'm looking at all these
Anything-
people that like. There's no such thing as a 0, and there's no such thing as a 10. Even
Ride to hell.
5 seconds ago,
No.
5 seconds ago, or however many minutes ago it was, I mentioned Breath of the Wild 10 out of 10. That's actually false, because that would mean that it's completely perfect, and it's not. There's flaws in every game. I don't think it was overhyped or over-exaggerated how good the game was.
No, it was good. In my eyes, it was not a 10. But again,
solid 9 out of 10.
No game is a 10. No game should ever be a 10 because there's no
I don't
such
have a
thing.
problem with 10s if it's like up to the average standards. That
I
we
do
have
when they're
now.
telling me that Red Dead Redemption 2 is a 10 out of 10.
It is not a 10.
Fired. Every one of them.
Last score I wanted to... two more scores I just wanted to talk about really quickly. Golf Story, which I'm the only one in this room who's played Golf Story. Amazingly fun, little, cheap indie game on the Switch. 78. And there's nothing wrong with the game. It's a lovely, charming game that... I don't know why 7... Like, maybe it's just because, like, you know, it's...
Graphics. Unfortunately, I feel like that's a huge thing in
none of
games.
the reviewers mentioned that as the issue.
I know they don't, but I feel like that's something that hinders certain games.
It might.
Like look at it. That's why I feel like Red Dead Redemption 2 is just and I think you agree with me, Andy, on this one. God of War. I think it was a little overrated, and I think again it got such high praise, and I think that's because of the graphics and the cinematics.
I didn't play enough of that game to really do a discerning opinion on whether or not I agree with the review or not.
You felt it was repetitive. I know you talked to me.
I can see how
off-air and-
someone would look at the game and call it a 10 out of 10. Red Dead, I don't understand.
Yeah,
the
really
last
liked God of War.
Yeah.
Oh, I liked it, but I didn't understand the 10 out of 10s. I saw some problems with it. That, like Andy said, some of it was a bit. I mean, what game isn't going to be repetitive? I understand that, but
Call of Duty World War II. Want to guess what that review
Wait a minute,
was?
World.
Call of Duty
sorry,
WW2.
I'm getting confused with World at War.
Nope.
82.
79.
Oh, that's close.
And I also screenshot a specific review from someone.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Ooh.
This guy's getting some hate mail.
So
Or girl.
this person basically rated it as a 10 and put, I had to change my review. This game is absolutely wonderful. Greatest in the series. Probably the greatest game I've ever played. Now, I don't pay attention to user reviews at all. I just saw that one and thought it was funny.
That was a user review?
Yeah, that was a user review.
Oh, okay.
IMDb sucks because it's all user reviews. I don't pay attention to those, but just... Like, it's to the point where I can't look at the reviews before I buy a game anymore, and now I have really no... I don't even know how to choose a game anymore. I have to just go on my gut now. I have to go on game footage.
I just don't pay attention to it at all anymore. Like, they've lost any trust that I had in them, so I have to just kind of look at videos and see what kind of old other games I like, and just kind of hope for the best.
I mean, it's different with YouTube, because YouTube basically buy everything. Like, bad reviews or mediocre reviews or really good reviews doesn't affect whether or not you are going to buy or play a game, really.
That's not true for me because at one point when I saw Sekiro, I did get a little nervous that it felt a little bit too much like just a Dark Souls clone. And that kind of made me nervous initially. And when I did see the overly over-the-top superb scores, I honed in on more gameplay and learned more about it. So it kind of gauged me to look at it a bit more. So when a game gets like superb ratings, that's when I'll pay attention to it more and be like.
So were you not on board for Sekiro before it got good?
I was because I knew where it came from. It came from the guy who made the Dark Souls, all the
From Software.
Exactly. Well, but it was Dark Souls 2 was not made from the same guy. That's why a lot of people have issues with Dark Souls 2. But it was made from the guy that people love: Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 3, Bloodborne. So I knew it was going to be good. It was the question of, do I want to get angry enough and beat this game? Because, you know, it requires a lot of patience.
More than I have.
So all of the Dark Souls got between an 87 and
No, they did, but Dark Souls 2 apparently a lot. I like Dark Souls 2. I had no problem with it. Honestly, it was actually
87.
It was up there. In my opinion, I thought it was better than
Dark Souls 2 actually
has one of the-
for the PC specifically has a 91. It's considered a must play by Metacritic.
Yeah, well, again, I'm talking about like fans did not love the fact of Dark Souls
So
2.
you're talking about user reviews.
Yes, user reviews, but people, again, I think that might have been. It's the same thing with like Silent Hill. Some people don't like some of the other Silent Hills because it wasn't made by. I think Silent Hill Homecoming was made by some American company. I actually really, really enjoyed Homecoming.
How dare they?
I know. So for some people, it's just automatically they're offended, or they just like, oh, this is made by a big publisher like EA. I'm gonna hate on it. And I feel like that is true for a lot of games, where they're made by a huge, massive company and they're like attacked automatically. Star Wars, Battlefront. I didn't see too much wrong with that, and that got attacked both ways.
I had a problem with the first one, but the second one was fine.
Yeah, second one was great. And recently, the Mortal Kombat got pounded with user reviews because of that whole microtransaction thing.
Yeah.
But again, I have not played it myself, so I, again, would give it a chance when it comes to user reviews. That's why I was very excited and happy that I gave Days Gone a chance. I mean, I knew it right away that it was an open world third person. Again, I'm a sucker for those. Open world third person, post-apocalyptic, motorcycle gangs. I was like, this is all for me. This is all for me. As long as it's not completely broken, I will enjoy it. I've played games that are kind of broken, but somewhat they're charming. I'm trying to think of there's like an RPG that came out like 2 years ago or something, and it had a mix of, it almost felt like an Elder Scrolls and
Pokemon Sun and Moon.
No. Yeah. Oh God, I can't think of it off the top of my
Now,
head.
what about for the industry? Not just for us personally, because I mean, there are people who only buy like 1 or 2 games a year, and those reviews
That's a
probably.
It is.
That is a
It is.
shame.
That's why
Those reviews are probably the thing that tell them what to buy, or they just automatically go for whatever
I think
super popular game.
I think review numbers need to go away. I again, angry when I got into watching reviews online. I really like the fact of going to the end of his video and seeing if he said wait for sale, rent. Now he gave Days Gone, Angry Centaur Gaming gave it a wait for sale. And I mean, for most things that I've played, I'm usually on the same wavelength with him. That one, I just tend to, like I said, I might be biased because of the third person. I'm enjoying the heck out of it. Now, I understand it's not a 10 out of 10, but it's good. So, but in the end, I think numbers definitely need to go away. I think that number scares people away.
Not just for reviews in general. Numbers should just go away.
No, numbers good. Just in reviews.
Numbers.
Let's replace them with letters. That's not
Okay,
true.
Andy, I
love
want you to
numbers,
go
but-
buy me X amount of Pepsi. Good luck. No. Numbers are good. Just, I don't think in a review score, because same thing with Rage. Rage is sitting with about a 72 on...
74, last time I checked.
Oh, 72 on Open Critic. The other one I check. I mean, again, I've only played 2 hours of it, but...
Yeah, but again, you were going to get it regardless. Probably.
No. If that game got terrible reviews and I heard it was... If a game is broken, like it's... Or I hear that...
Okay, but like, well, what's your cutoff?
Short campaign scares me away.
No. For review score, what's your cutoff?
Oh, nothing is cut off. It's why it got low review scores. If it's something like it's buggy, or I'm trying to think of other things, buggy, or the story.
Most people just look at the number. That's the issue.
No, I go past that. If a game is buggy, or the story, according to some people, was bland, I will still give it a shot, because again, I can be easily entertained. I mean, I enjoyed Batman versus Superman.
Yeah.
So I can be easily entertained. So what
would be like your solution to the number system?
I think just do it as a, like, again, buy it, wait for sale, rent, never touch it again. I think that's a great type of scale. I mean, obviously you need to do.
Matt's just already done with them. Like, you don't care, right?
Yeah, I don't think there's like a good way to do it. I guess, yeah, get rid of numbers. Find people that you trust. The problem is, like, a lot of people go to like Game Rankings or Metacritic. They try to figure out this like aggregated number for the average of all the games, and I don't trust 3/4 of these people. There's specific people that I go to. Like I'll watch like Yang Yang. I'll watch the members of Giant Bomb, just like specific people that I trust and have watched for a long time.
Yeah.
But like part of the reason we're having this conversation is because Rage 2 and more recently Days Gone have had review scores that have been kind of all over the place, like between like 5 and 10, like 5 and 9s basically for Days Gone at least. And I think it's going to be something similar to that with Rage. And I haven't played Rage 2, so I can't speak to that. But I know GameSpot gave Days Gone a 5 out of 10. Which is completely asinine to me. I reread the review today just to kind of get a sense of what her problems were with the game, and she was having a lot of issues with the character and the story development, which I think is kind of, it's not perfect. It's not a 10 out of 10, but like the characters are actually kind of pretty like fleshed out. Boozer is like a really interesting character that goes through a lot of transformation throughout the game. You meet a younger girl, Lisa, that goes through some serious shit through this game, and you see her transformation. So it's not just this you're killing zombies, I'm a dumb guy just killing guys thing. It has some interesting stories, so I wouldn't knock it to a 5 because of that. And then you get into this like darker place where, like, if you see her Twitter, she said things like, why are all these zombies white people? And it's just like, is this really going to get like political? Or are you just like making up reasons not to like this game? I mean, they have a story explanation for while they're white, they lose their pigment, or I forget exactly what the line or two is, but there's like reasons why they're not like that. And it almost feels like, okay, here's another, white guy protagonist, and we gotta attack it. I know, I think it was Kotaku just had an article about Rage 2, about how the author was upset because one of the bad guys had a scar on his face, which was similar to a formation he had in his face, and it said it reminded him about how his like own disability for the whole game. And it's just like, can we just play games to have fun? Do we have to find an issue or like a problem or like a cause for every time we play a game? Like these, I can't trust reviews if they're not playing games to just have fun and like figure out what is enjoyable.
And I think that comes to the biggest issue that I have with the reviews is, there are some specific set amount of people that are considered, official critics, but it's still just one person's opinion of the whole game.
Yeah.
And these are not people that I know personally. And a lot of times, user scores, especially if they're trying to review bomb a game, tend to be really low or really asininely high. And I will say critic scores tend to be higher. Evidently with Days Gone, a lot of people were giving it kind of mixed. I feel like Days Gone might have been the first
Days Gone really screwed with people.
Properly rated game, because all of those low ones and all the really high ones kind of evened out into what I feel like was a fair score for the game. I don't remember what it was on Metacritic.
I would
in the end.
I would say it's higher than that, just because of the quality. I've noticed a lot of little things in Days Gone that I'm like, wow, this is impressive that they could do something like that. But going on, I just wanted to add on to what Matt said, and I fear that it could also be game journalism, where
it's just
I go on to a lot of websites and I see the article titles, and like one of them was about Resident Evil 2, and it was a pretty popular article, and it made a lot of people upset. And I don't know why it made it upset. I personally thought it was a really stupid idea title, and it was why I wish I could be a more compassionate person in Resident Evil 2.
I remember seeing that tagline.
And I was like, that is an
though.
absolute ridiculous thing to talk about. Like, not only that, it's a remake. The Q,
was
and
it
not only
kind
that,
of a funny article?
no,
or?
it was completely serious. It was about the fact that the not spoiling anything because it was in the trailer. The African American gentleman, the police officer who saves you, he's pretty badly wounded, and you kind of know that he's kind of done. He can't move. It's a general thing, and like, oh, I've been bit. Go on without me. There's nothing you can do. And they were frustrated at the fact of, oh, why can't I get this guy to a hospital? He already said he's going to slow you down. Like, he's answered it. And not only that, if you want that, there are other games out there where you can be. I mean, one of them is a Wii game where you actually play like a surgeon. Like, if you want that, there are games for it. Not every game is for you, and that's why
I'm not playing Resident Evil 2 so I can cart someone to the hospital.
They got mad at another Resident Evil 5. Remember, it was set in like Africa, so all of the zombies were black, and people had a big deal out of this. And it's like, it has nothing to do with racism.
Now it looked like
that girl you were talking about loved it though, because they weren't all white.
No,
that's
but
true.
It was
That's true.
It basically
it's like it's a zombie game set in Africa. I don't hate to tell you, but there's a lot of African people in Africa.
And instead, it looks like a cruise.
black.
Like instead, it looks like everyone on a cruise ship just like crashed, and it's like, oh, there's people from every ethnicity, and it's supposed to take place in Africa. And I
supposed to be
understand.
immersive, yeah.
and it's not immersive when you have a guy in like a hula shirt, like, and he's really fat and he's white. It's like, oh, okay, this just feels like another general zombie game. And immersion can really, and like I said, I think when you break immersion for certain games, that really hinders it.
Not to disturb this conversation, but we were talking about review scores specifically.
True. Yes.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is
that goes to trusting them, because
Exactly.
like,
No, I know.
if they care about things that I think most gamers don't care about or don't see as an issue at all, we kind of question their ability to give us like an honest review of the game, an honest, review of if this game's fun, if it's good, if it's challenging, if it's, got like an amazing story. I mean, not all games have to, but I just kind of don't trust all.
Well, that's why I liked your point about finding the specific critics you trust.
I think that's what you
Oh,
kinda
absolutely.
have
You should always do
That's
that.
why I do go to IGN a lot. I only read. I don't know everybody at IGN. Well, I don't know any of them personally, but I don't. I listen to GameScoop a lot, and I'll get to know those people over time. I get to know what they like and what they don't like, and I feel like they have very good opinions about what they're playing, because they'll be straight with you about like, oh, this is why I liked it or disliked it, and I can tell that they're honest, or at least I feel like they are, and I can tell that I trust their opinions, so I will go on that. I cannot take Metacritic for what it's worth. I can't look at the Metacritic score and just automatically know what the game is anymore, because
definitely not.
Red Dead Redemption 2 is proof that that's just complete
I
BS.
feel like there's like a AAA game boost as well as Nintendo boost. Like it's hard to get like a bad score with one of those unless it's really.
Yeah, but it kind of going off also what you mentioned about some authors or journalists. Like with Days Gone, somebody also was really offended by the fact there was two big things that offended people in that game. One was the wedding ceremony, where she said, I promise me that you'll ride me as much as your motorcycle. I thought it was cute. I thought it was like, he loves his motorcycle.
Like said a lot in motorcycle. Like it's actually like something that people say at weddings a lot. I guess it's like part of the culture.
Yeah, but I mean, it's whatever. It's just who she is. And then the other one was apparently when she bends down to pick up a flower and the character looks at her butt. I mean, naturally, if you're attracted to someone, which he is in the game, and I mean, it's going to happen, even if he was gay or whatever. Whatever, it's what it is, and it does, I feel, hinder that journalist if he's going to look. Same thing with newts, like the kids. There were people were offended that you were shooting kids.
I thought that was great.
So I
was so scared to put kids in their games.
But I
that
thought
die.
it was what I thought was really fleshed out was how they were scared of you. They would run around, and there was one moment where you accidentally get locked in. You turn around, and there's newts everywhere, and you're like, "Oh crap! Like this is not going to be fun."
So here's a good question then. Would you, the person you were just talking about there,
Yes.
would you, if that was their honest opinion, would you rather have them not be honest, or are you worried that that wasn't their honest opinion and they were just doing that to make a splash?
No, I want them to be honest, but I also fear that a lot of those journalists are trying to get clickbait. They're trying
that's what
to,
I mean, trying to make a splash.
And that's what I don't like. But if someone doesn't like something, like, hey, I really don't like this because, like Ride to Hell, like you'll save a girl and then immediately, like, you have sex with her after.
That whole game.
Well, but that's what I mean. Like there is a good way of
I hope
doing
to
it.
God
And
someone gave that a 10 out of 10.
no, hopefully they did not. But there's good ways of complaining and there's bad ways. When I feel like you're nitpicking, then happily I'm just going to avoid your review. I'm not going to take it with a grain of salt. And I guess it's good that you want to be honest. I don't like the people just nitpicking about little things. Like I said, that the lady with Resident Evil 2, like that's absolutely asinine. It's a zombie game. It's also a remake. Just realize what you're getting into. If it's not for you, avoid it. If you don't like a television show, don't watch it. If you don't like a movie, don't watch it.
I mean, there are games like I really don't like those Dark Souls Blood, what is it called? Bloodborne games.
I do want to get you to play it at some point, just to
those,
get your reaction.
I don't think I would like. I have tried them, but I would be like, I think this game sucks. But I know objectively it's a good game, so I would never review that because I know that I can't be objective about it, and I just feel like That's kind
That's
of
a good point, too.
I'm just looking for people that are objective about these games. And a lot of them aren't.
And that's the thing. I don't think Red Dead Redemption 2 is a horrible, bad game. I just don't think that it's...
Deserves the praise of a
No, because
9
it
point.
has flaws.
It's a simulator. It's more than a game.
It's obviously a well-made, crafted game. I'm not
It is.
distinguishing. It's just not fun.
Technically,
It's not.
impressive.
It's not. There was.
That's all I can say about
And
it.
I will
dragged,
play games that I don't like, that I will admit it's not the game's fault I don't like it. It's just because I don't like fighting games,
Yeah.
except for Soul Calibur. So,
No, I don't like racing games.
I'm not
I
going to
don't.
buy Mortal Kombat,
Yeah.
and I'm not going to think it's very good, but that's just because if I was going to review the game, I would review it on the merit of the game, not based on whether or not I personally enjoyed it. I'm reviewing the game. I'm not saying like, oh, this sucks because I hate fighting games.
Yeah. Well, when a game is broken, when the game punishes you for something that you didn't commit, like lag or somebody hit you through a wall or something, that's when you can blame the game. But when, again, it's your fault, you're not good at it, or you don't understand it. Again, I wish I was better going back to the very first episode, XCOM. I wish I was really good at that game. I stink at it, unfortunately. But I understand that. I understand that I'm not the greatest at strategy games or RTSs type of thing. It wasn't my thing, but I'm not gonna knock a few points off. Same thing with a car game. I'm not gonna knock a few points off because you can't get out of the car and walk around. Well, that's not what they designed it for. They designed it to be a racer. So not for
yeah,
me.
reviews suck.
True. Only listen to us.
I think once a week I am going to read one user review because this one's funny.
Jesus.
This is for Ride to Hell.
Oh boy. Wait. What was the official score?
9 out of 10.
Don't screw with me.
It's a user review.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I went the official review.
No,
Okay.
the critics, there were 16 critics and each one of them gave it a 0. Which also,
Do you think this person works there? At the company, there have been issues where people do.
And that's another thing. Ride to Hell Retribution was obviously not a good game. I actually did try it out one time.
Did you? Oh, God.
Zero is literally unplayable.
That's not even a game at that point.
0 is unplayable. The thing,
Yeah.
you could do stuff in the game. It just wasn't
Yeah.
very good. Like there's that.
It'd probably
the
be
only game that ever got a 0 out of 10 that I can agree with was that truck game because the game
It was
literally
broken.
didn't work.
It was broken. Yes, I've seen that.
So
like
this
drive
is a
through
user
cars.
review. 9 out of 10. Ride to Hell Retribution sends you back into the time of the swinging 60s. Drugs, rock and roll, and guns are the main order of the day, with a heavy rock soundtrack to really get you the adrenaline pumping. The story of one man's search of the truth about his father is full of intricate plot twists and told in a gripping narrative, supported by an array of characters with emotional depth. From the trailer yard to the distillery, this game will have you at the edge of your seat.
The
next review down from that is, don't play this. Don't think about it. Just forget it exists.
That's great. No, it's just absolutely terrible. But that's another thing. I wish there was a way to prevent user what do they call it? Review bombing. Because
I was going to bring that up. I think that's a little silly.
I just not only that, like the Captain Marvel got review bombed, and I was like, I remember asking you, Andy, why is this getting
Because people didn't like Brie Larson. The movie was really good.
Yeah, see, that's also something that people need to take out. Is if one thing in a movie, bothers you, you need to look past it.
So the thing is, here's a good example of review bombing. Psyonix, who make Rocket League, or as my friend calls it, Rocket Cars, recently got bought out by Epic Games. So, one would assume that means that Rocket League will no longer be available for purchase on Steam. So everybody on Steam decided to review bomb the game on Steam. But it's not like the developer
That's silly.
it's not like the game's bad or the developer decide. I don't know if this was a hostile takeover or not. I didn't really look into the intricacies of the takeover, but it just seems silly to review bomb a game just because you're a little bitter or because of all these timed exclusives on Epics, like the Epic Game Store, and it's just it's not beneficial unless there's an actual issue with the game. Like Battlefront 2 got review bombed initially because the loot boxes in the leveling up system were horrendous and EA changed it. the review bombing worked. All of the negative backlash worked, but I don't think that really stopped people from doing it. So I don't trust them. I don't even really pay attention to them anymore. I do it out of sheer curiosity more than anything else.
On a little side note too, I also don't like the opposite when like what Call of Duty did, where they waited a week for the good reviews to come out, and then threw in microtransactions.
He's talking about Black Ops 4. They waited until the reviews were out.
That is dirty.
Well, that's all the time we have for today. So, where can people find you if they feel like talking to you after this podcast?
In Massachusetts. Oh, sorry. You can find me on Twitter at Game Review Guy.
You can find me on Twitter at Matt Talks Games. Sometimes I'm on Twitch as well there. Same name.
And you can find me at Highly and Andy on Twitter. And you can also follow the podcast at Manabar Podcast.
Yes.
The show premieres every week, Thursday, 12 p.m. on the dot. You can check it out on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, all of the big podcast download applications, but you can also check it out on YouTube if you'd rather do that. Please comment, share, tell us what you'd like to hear about, tell us what you'd like us to stop doing. If you'd like me to have Pikachu talk more, I can surely make that happen.
Please don't do that.
I agree with Matt.
Also, if you have any questions or suggestions and you feel like sending an in-depth email, you can email us at manabarpodcast@gmail.com, since Matt has so graciously offered to take care of the mailbox, so I don't have to.
Send me letters.
Send Matt letters.
Physical letters.
And with that, this is the Bargain Bin Gamer, the Trophy Hunter, and the Collector logging off.